Hello YouTube, I'm Vince White. I am an employment attorney and I am answering publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answers they need from an employment attorney. So like and subscribe, it helps me to help more people just like you. Right, we have a question here from YouTube user Unknown. It was posted 5 days ago. Looks like they have two questions, so I may make two answers here. We'll see. Unknown says, thank you for your time and response. It really does help and means a lot to know there are people out there like you that truly want to help. Heart. Happy to help them. I hope it helps. I have two questions that I seek guidance on, and I feel like it might help others understand too if they are in similar situations. That is how the channel. That's the idea behind the channel. Certainly, I agree. You answer a couple of questions, and the video lives forever, and hopefully somebody else finds it helpful. Also, when I'm gone, people can watch videos of me. And Unknown goes on. If after notifying management and HR about discrimination and multiple physical assaults by coworkers, and then being talked out of reporting it to corporate, which is against company policy, multiple times, and then once I did, it was not properly investigated or even asked, and no one even asked me for my complete statement when I asked to be contacted until I filled out a charge with the EEOC. Only then was I asked for my full statement and told they were going to investigate. It is almost 6 months later after I first initially notified them, causing me to have more harassment done to me and causing mental issues to affect me from it. Would that be considered retaliation or even discrimination? If not, would it be considered anything else? Okay. So that's the first part of the question, I think, and we'll answer that. If you complained of workplace discrimination and then bad things happen to you, that would certainly be viewed as retaliatory, to my mind. There'd be an additional retaliation claim. You should add that to your EEOC. Also, you should consider getting an attorney because there might be things the attorney can do to protect you from retaliation. This sounds like a powder keg. It sounds like a really dangerous workplace. You're talking about physical assaults here. And if you've already experienced multiple physical assaults, as you mentioned, then I worry for your safety because you're experiencing retaliation now. And if that comes in the form of physical assaults, it could be really bad for your health and well-being, right? So multiple things you can do, including speaking to an attorney, potentially looking at getting an order of protection. There's a lot to do there. Now, can it also be viewed as discrimination? Yes. If you think it's motivated by your membership in a protected class, then it could also be viewed as discrimination, although perhaps the retaliation claim might be stronger given the timeline of events here. The second part of your question, YouTube user Unknown goes on, I should say. Also, I am constantly being asked to retell the events and asked to voluntarily give information and evidence and details about retaliation done by management and employees. I want to comply and be forthcoming, but I'm worried that doing so might give them a way to come up with a pretext or defense about what has happened, and I'm worried I'm sharing too much. If that is a concern, you should definitely get an attorney. I can't stress enough, you may want to hire an attorney. What would you recommend for someone that wants to be honest and upfront and comply, but is worried they're only looking for information to come up with a defense and not truly help me? I would write your story down once, okay? That doesn't mean you can work on it only once. Like you can work on it for a whole week. You can work on it every night for 7 days if you want. But get the story in a format that is completely accurate and tells the whole story. And then anytime anyone asks you about it, give them that written document. Because I'm going to let you in a secret about how human beings work. If you tell a story 20 times, guess what? You're going to tell 20 different versions. It's never going to be the same. That's not how human beings work. You can train and practice your entire life, and maybe you could tell a story 20 for 20 the same every time. But even like ancient bards who would memorize these huge epics of like oral tradition stories they would tell word for word, it wasn't always the same, right? It just wasn't always the same. And they trained their entire life for that. You didn't presumably train your entire life to tell the story the same way every time. And so if you tell the story 20 times, we'll come up with 20 different versions. And that is going to be something they try to attack. They're going to say, well, first it was this, and now it's this. It keeps changing. We don't know if we can trust this person, right? It's not a huge problem, but it is a problem. It's a problem you don't need to embrace. So get your story written down, get your words on paper. It's called your timeline. Your attorney's going to want it anyways. but also don't give it directly to your employer. Give it to your attorney first, if you have an attorney. Hopefully you do. Let them work with it, and perhaps refine it a little bit to be the most effective document possible before you turn it over to the EEOC or to your employer. Okay? I hope this is helpful. If it's not, comment down below. I will check the comments. I will try to do better. I'll try to answer your question more directly. But if it was helpful, like and subscribe. It helps me to help more people just like you. Take care.